It's extremely cold and windy, no frost, but we've had quite a bit of rain. There was apparently snow at 5 o'clock this morning, but I missed it all. So up on the plot today just to finish those jobs that didn't get done, just until it rains. If it starts to rain heavy, then I am off. So I've written a list to make sure I get those jobs done, not necessarily in order, but Connor's here again to help me today. My mum will be up shortly as well because we need chip-ins. So on the list is the boundary line. So I showed you before where my plot neighbour has been coming over onto our side with their growing. So I want to put a boundary up, and I've got a little bit of fencing to go up there. It's only rope fencing, the rest hasn't arrived yet. But if I can at least go across with a stick and a bit of string, then hopefully they'll move their stuff by the time I go all the way down. Cover the decking. So the decking boards that we bought, they are getting absolutely sopping wet and they need to be covered up, so that's got to be done. So the brassica bed, as you know, is behind me here, keeps blowing down. So I had a thought last night that if I do a V shape in the middle inside, then I'm hoping that will keep the two sides apart from falling down, because this morning I've had a look and it's already bowing. Like I said, chip-ins, and I do want a little bit to take home because the foxes have dug out so many of my chip-ins out the front. I need to re-chip. The gate on the fruit cage behind me, if you can have a look, it's quite gappy so birds can get in. So the corner bits there, which are the brackets are holding it together, they need to come off, be re-put on a lot higher. The entrance path needs to be moved. Okay, so let's show you where that needs to go. It's like a maze at the moment. Make sure I don't get run over. Okay, so currently this is our entrance path, and you go down to the brassica cage, you go across and you go down that way. However, because of the boundary line issue, I want it changed. So that slab's coming out, that tyre is going to go into that space, and we can knock some of these together a little bit more just to create a thicker border. And then this is going to be the new path. So right down there, let's see if I can zoom in. So that metal pole right in front with a red little bit at the bottom, that is our boundary line. So if I follow that all the way down, you can see how much space my plot neighbour has taken, because this little stick here with that red mark there, just there, so I'm actually losing quite a bit of space. So I'm now going to create a path that goes from here all the way down, so we'll have one straight path, and hopefully that means I can take that wood off of the brassica cage if I fix it from the inside, and then that gives me this massive growing space here where I will be planting the corn and some beans and probably some courgettes as well. So I've got another big growing space there, and this will be another no dig bed. So that's what I'll do there. So I'll have 3 no dig beds along with the raised beds along the edging just there. Okay, so that's the plan with the path. I mean, that's a long job, that won't be done in one day. And then the decking, I need to see if it needs to be separated so it can be moved forward. It's way too close to the back fence, so I need to make sure it comes forward a good 4 inches. And I brought my drill up today to take apart the arch that we took down. I mean, that's been sat making a mess in the plot for quite a while now, so that needs to come down now. So I think that's a mum job. So that's everything I want to get done today, so I hope you're going to enjoy everything I do on this part of the video. Then I'm going to run the piece of string all the way down to the other red post, and that will give me the line to create a fence. So I'll do it nice and slowly. Stuck in the finger already. Okay, so that's my boundary line up. Now I'm going to go and do the V with Connor because it's a two-person job. Okay, so since I've added the straw, I've noticed things are definitely growing better. So the cabbages have really come up now. The leeks are, some of them are really big. I'm really hopeful now for the leeks for this year. And the broccoli heads, since covering them with the leaves, they haven't died off or anything like that, and they are growing a little bit more. I can see a little bit more growth on them. And the beetroot that I put in last year, so we did a really late sowing in September, started to come up. We managed to get a couple of beets from that, but the rest weren't big enough to pull up. And someone told me just to leave them in and cover them up and they'll be fine. So that is what I've done. And I'm actually getting growth with them being covered, even though we had a week of really bad weather, frost and cold. It's doing really good, so I'm happy. And we've had curly kale come through. As you know, my ultimate favourite, that has grown through. So I'm very hopeful. Okay, Connor? Okay, so I'm going to take some of the tools up the back now and then start the next job, which starts down this end. It was such a windy day with the fine rain as well. I had to mute most of this video. The wind was just crazy on the microphone. Like, it seemed like the background noise was louder than what I was. So you've got me voiceovering for a little bit. So this part here took way longer than what it should have. It was so fiddly. So the image in my head of how this was going to look, it's very different to how it does look. I think partly because I was cold at this point, I was very wet at this point, and as you know, I really struggled to get down low, and I really needed to be on my hands and knees for this bit. The wood that I put there was actually in the way as well. So temporarily it is up. The rest still has not arrived to this day that this video is going out, which is on the 15th of January. So I've been waiting quite a while for the rest of this now, which is quite frustrating because I really want that boundary line up so my neighbours take the hint and move their stuff off of my side. Because obviously I don't want to start the new entrance until I've got all my plot back. So this was very fiddly. Cable ties were used in the process. Some pegs were used in the ground at the process. You can see my mum was getting a little bit fed up now as well. It was just hard because of the wind blowing everything, and it was a bit of a nightmare. So this day at the plot, although we did manage to get a lot of the stuff done and we were all absolutely soaking wet and freezing cold and exhausted by the end of it, it didn't feel like the progress that I was imagining when I did my list. You know, when you think, right, okay, this is done, this will look fantastic. That kind of didn't really mentally happen when I walked away from the plot, and I did kind of feel like I needed to go back. But I didn't, because I'm learning that it's not all about slog, getting everything done all in one go. It's about small tasks often, and you're not exhausting yourself then. But it doesn't look too bad, I guess. I mean, if you look at it like that, the wind is going to blow through it. I'm hoping it's going to deter the foxes a little bit from coming onto the plot. I know they can jump over it, but it's more about just protecting what's on my plot. As you know, I've had things stolen from my plot, vegetables taken. Once the fencing is all up, it might look all right. You know, I will give it a little bit of a tidy in. I will change the sticks that it's currently on, and I will pop some pieces of wood in instead. So it's definitely time to tidy away. The jobs that my mum cracked on with were filling up the beds with some more compost, the new ones that were installed in the last video. But we still hadn't got chip-ins at this point, so it was tidying up the plot just to give ourselves a little bit of a break from all the bending down before we went and got the chip-ins, which we left my mum to do while me and Connor actually went to get the chip-ins, because there was a little bit more wood down there that I wanted to get for my plot for the wildlife area. Got the wheelbarrow and some bags. We're going to fill them all up and then bring them back to the plot, and then we are going to go home because it is ice cold and I really can't feel my fingers anymore. And I'm really chuffed with everything that we've managed to get done today. It doesn't seem like a lot, but it's jobs that really desperately needed doing. Most of all, making sure that brassica cage is as safe as possible. Okay, so let's get down here now. So that's all the bags I've got. Some of those are actually potato bags, but they'll do for adding chip-ins to for now. So let's get going. This is a good opportunity for me to say, if you haven't already subscribed, please press on that button. It's completely free. It doesn't cost you anything, but it's a great thing for me and my channel. And share any of my content if you have the availability to do so, just to push me out there a little bit more. Okay, so there is still so many chip-ins here, but we only get a delivery once a year as far as I'm aware. So I'm just taking as much as I can for what I need, and then I'm actually going to have like a little cage and store some of it on the plot for when I need it. So we've managed to fill up quite a lot, so I'll carry that bag, Connor. So that is a lot of chip-ins. Yeah, that's how big the pile is. It's quite fun, to be honest. That's many deliveries of chip-ins. And off we go again, back to the plot. Watch that.
I know.
Okay, so what I'm doing now, now we've got this grass here to suppress that grass, instead of putting more weed membrane down, I'm just going to put no weed in. And that's also going to really help because I'm hoping it will show my plot neighbour that, hang on, they're building a path down here, let me clear my stuff. Let's grab another bag. Let's just move this little bit of plastic here and here. Oh, it is heavy, isn't it? Look at that. Damn sorry work. That way, I think it's better I shovel it. I'm only going to go up to this bit here where we've got the new fencing. But like I said, I've got it nice and thick because I really don't want no light getting to that grass, and hopefully that will kill that off. This is the worst bit for weeds. The rest of the path going down is pretty good. Okay, so all I'm going to do now is the rest of these tip-ins, I'm going to tip them in where the trees are because the tree is looking really bare. Okay, so I do need to re-put some screws in on this side, but I won't do that today. I need to just remember to do it. So that is it for the plot today. Like I said, lots of little jobs. I'm happy that the fencing started. I'm happy that the brassica bed is much better. We just need a storm to test it out. I'm just joking with that one. The raised bed has had one more load of compost. There's 2 more here ready to go in once I pick up the sand. The metal archway is being chucked away now because it's all rusted. Okay, so the next time we come down, it's going to be making the path, the new path as the entrance into the allotment, which I can't wait to see. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and I hope you have a fantastic day.